I rename you very often. Good morning. Welcome to Morning Live.
Thanks for you.
Thank you for joining us. So, I want to accelerate to Friday. When you look back to at the conference, what will you be looking for to be able to declare that this, in your view, has been a successful conference?
I think that we're looking for a sense of internal party cohesion. There's certainly a sense of fracturedness at the moment. And one of the things that the ANC needs to realize is that this reflects quite heavily on our national sensibilities, on our national morale, because a fractured party is also a fractured government potentially, and fractured in its ability to deliver effectively and efficaciously. I think another thing that's very important is a sense of intergenerationality, which is not only the young and the old, but of course this festival ideas that we always have been told about. One of the things that I think has been quite unfortunate the last few years is a shutdown of independent thought. And
within the ANC or just in South Africa?
I think within the ANC. I mean, the notion that if you speak against or if you have an alternative opinion, you're counter-revolutionary or you're reactionary, etc., etc. It's almost seen as though one's, that anything that's different or other is in some way traitorous, and that's very, very problematic for a movement that claims to be, democratic, that claims to be revolutionary, and that claims to have been really built on particular principles of freedom of expression.
No.
I think.
I just want to say the Secretary General of the South African Communist Party said the ANC will emerge stronger from this conference.
That remains to be seen. There's a whole bunch of factionalism that really needs to be repaired, and very, very urgently. It also remains to be seen in relation to, of course, the various slates that have been presented to going towards this conference. One of the things I suppose as well is the ability to integrate not only personalities, because this has become a very personality-driven conference and leading up to, and in fact, a lot of the internal skirmishes are centered on that, but also in terms of, different ideas and ideologies. You have a whole bunch of interests to appease. Already there were people on the stock exchange who were saying, some of the financial analysts and other colleagues who were saying that there's a Marxist trend, and if the Marxists take over at Mangaung, we're going to see, for example, a far greater acceleration of the various downgrades that we've seen, and a disinterest in foreign investment. And there are a whole bunch of not only local and internal party interests to be mediated, but international relations interests, international finance interests, and international business interests.
Okay. So, cohesion, social cohesion here, 4,500 people. Would it translate to social cohesion within the broader ANC, in the branches all over the country, or is it just step one, which would then still have to find translation when these delegates return to their branches?
We also have to remember that coming out of this, we're going straight into 2013, which effectively is the run-up to elections. So whether or not, the branch cohesion has to happen, but it will not happen unless there's a rallying point. One of the things I think that has been that's been problematic, there's been a dearth in terms of, a sense of discussion around what this party stands for. But I think under the previous dispensations, there was a sense in which, there was RDP, there was some kind of a national vision. One could agree or disagree, take or leave. But at the moment, there's been a bit of a vacuum. And I think that in that vacuum, that has allowed certain factions and certain personalities to claim the discussion and to claim the space, and to use it for different purposes.
So, as an analyst being here, what really are your expectations? You've read, you've looked at, you've interacted with. What are your expectations as it gets underway today?
I think my expectations are quite tame. They're very muted. Certainly, I suppose that we're going to hear from, the various delegates and the various leadership, the speech making about the 100 years, about what it means for the movement, for the country. We're going to, of course, hear, see the show of unity, the face saving, I suppose. I think we're also going to hear a lot more rhetoric around development, around the people, around service delivery, etc., because something has to be said. There's a backdrop to this conference. It's been a very tumultuous year for us in South Africa in terms of labor relations, in terms of economic relations. We've taken quite a pounding in terms of as well how people are perceiving their experience of citizenship and the dividends thereof in this country. So the ANC and the leadership today have to send a strong message of confidence.
There's been a bit of finger pointing as well. The media, this, the media that. Is the ANC coming here feeling like a party under siege from some quarters in the country?
It seems to be. I mean, according to the Secretary General's report, it's the media, it's analysts, it's people such as ourselves, I suppose.
Is there merit to that? Is the media, are the analysts out to get the ANC?
No, I think that what people like us are out to do is really to be the third eye, and I think that because most of us I don't have a vested interest one way or the other. What I have is a vested interest in the future of this country, and most of us love our country, and I think that we're very prone to look at what has happened to our countries around us, and I understand that we're coming to the 20 year of our post-liberation, and that was the tipping point for many of our neighboring countries. So we need to be very cognizant of that. There's no need to be defensive per se. I think that if this is a broad church and this festival ideas, let them all flourish.
All right. On that flourishing note, let's flourish to an ad break.